Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's me John, aka Astro Comics, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're doing a tier list, but it's a bit of a different tier list. In the past we ranked some superhero stuff, we ranked movies on tier list, but today we are ranking album covers for my favorite band of all time, Death. Now Death is, well, if you listen to death metal, then you definitely know them. But Death is basically one of the first and most important death metal bands of all time. I really love them. I love basically all of their albums, and I think they're just great. And I think they got some pretty cool album covers too. So we'll be ranking only those, not the albums themselves, only album covers. So yeah, first of all, I don't know who the fuck put these albums in this order. It shouldn't go like this. But there's also Control Denied, which is like a side project that Chuck started, and they only had one album, so it might as well be here. So we're starting off with Scream Bloody Gore. It's very different from the later stuff. The later stuff would even go to be more technical and progressive metal. But here there's just pure death metal, a little bit of a trash influence. And for this album cover, you can't really see it well, so I might as well search it up. Pretty good album cover. Yeah, let me open it. Open it with a new tab. Not very high quality here because it's fucking Amazon, but four zombies here drinking from the goblet of gore. They're early. I really like their early logo. I think it's got a lot of things going on. I like their later logo better, but this one is still pretty cool. I like this guy, the way he's like the way he's got his tongue out here. You can see. But yeah, this album cover is pretty cool. I'm gonna put it in probably A tier. No, not S tier, but it's A tier for sure. Next up, though, we've got Leprosy. Here, just look at the Leprosy real quick. I don't think this album cover, well, I like the album better than Scream Bloody Gore. What the fuck is this version? Never seen that one. But, like, as an album cover, I'm not a fan of this logo at all. Like, I don't know why it's like this blue and sand orange color, but this looks more like a trash album cover than a death metal album cover. There's a lot of trash albums that are just guys standing in front of a camera like that. So I'm gonna have to give this one a B, honestly. Not a terrible album. They got some fucking bangers like Born Dead. I think the Leprosy, the song is also very good, and obviously Pull the Plug, but the album cover is not it. So now we're going on to my favorite albums. This is the first Death album that I listened to, and my personal favorite, that would be Spiritual Healing. So this album cover has got a lot of things to unpack here. Not your average death metal album cover, that's for sure. The thing with Death that was hard for me before getting into was when I want to listen to a band, I'll judge it on the album covers most of the time if I want to listen to it or not. And this one was not really interesting for me at first, but now, I gave it a shot. It was my favorite. Album from them. Might also be biased because it was the first one, but we're not ranking these on bias. So, first of all, I also have this album on CD. I have 3 Death CDs, but I want to have all 7 of them. So, a really nice blue color scheme here. And at first, I actually thought this was a worker at like a mental hospital, which, that would make sense. But it's actually like a pastor from like a mega church. And I also thought these were like a bunch of politicians. This guy looked kind of like Ronald Reagan, but, I only seen like 3 images of Ronald Reagan in my life. But no, it's actually like members of a mega church. I always had this guy getting the shit beat out of him, or actually not getting the shit beat out of him. He's doing some kind of like, he's getting the demon out of him. And you can see he even has money here in his little pocket. I guess also like, I'm not sure what this is, like a rosary maybe, or however you say that. But this album cover is, in my opinion, S tier. Does a lot of things. Okay, next album and my second favorite has to be Human. Here we go. So Human, I'm pretty sure this is like some kind of like classical painting or something. I'm not sure. That's what I heard. At least like a classic Leonardo da Vinci painting. But One thing that I like, this is a pretty cool logo. They still have this weird Grim Reaper guy here. Still have the Burning Cross. But I don't like how the name of the album is such a fucking basic font. You would think it would be better. But with that being said, I still think this is an amazing album cover. Definitely an S tier for me. Just really cool album cover. My second personal favorite. I mean, it got some really good songs like Suicide Machine, Together as One, or whatever that song's called. I think that's what the name is. Just some really good ones. The next album, and probably one of my least favorite ones, is Individual Thought Patterns. Again, I don't think Death has a bad album. It's just that this one was one of the more boring ones, and I personally didn't feel that connected to it. It still had some good songs like Mentally Blind and The Philosopher, obviously. Again, color of the logo, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking here. Just like a weird pink color, but it's the same as Human. Very bad quality here, holy shit. But I can't tell what this is supposed to be. This is obviously the Earth, and this looks like the back of someone's head. And this one looks kind of amateur the way it's wrapping around the planet, but it's cool. This album cover, too weird for me in my opinion. It's gonna get a B. But the actual album too is like a B for me. And then we have probably my ranking of that albums, the way it goes, my top three at least, is Spiritual Healing, Symbolic, and then Human. Those are my three favorites. And Symbolic's album cover is also an an S for. Actually, I'm gonna give that bitch an A. I think it's. What the fuck? Sorry, I fucked this one up. How the hell did I put this back? Yeah, never mind. We got Symbolic. Very weird. I actually only recently realized what this album cover is kind of supposed to mean. Or, well, I knew in the past, but now I, really know. Open image, a new tab here. So here we got, here we've got, the eye from the song, 1,000 Eyes, I think it's called. Here we got, apparently it's supposed to be like Adam and Eve and the snake from the garden. It's got a lot of religious symbolism, this album, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. So yeah, this album cover in my opinion is an A, but not an S. Alright, so the last album the Death came out with was The Sound of Perseverance in 1999, and this one actually had two album covers. So first is this old one, but the more popular one is this reissue from 2012, I think. I remember when Relapse Record reissued it, but that doesn't matter. Anyways, this old one sucks ass in my opinion. This new one though is definitely an S tier for me. A really good album cover. Just really good. And last but not least is Control Denied. I actually know the name of this album, but I'm just gonna search up and here we go. The Fragile Art of Existence. Yeah. I only really listened to a few songs from them, so I'm not really sure what to think of it. And Chuck is only on guitar, not on vocals, which it doesn't matter. He's really good on guitar, anyways. This album cover. Let's open it up in a new tab. What the fuck? Open it 15 times. I finally one that's actually high quality. And this one very interesting, kind of. I wouldn't say minimalistic, just kind of weird. I'm gonna give this one B tier as well. I'm more of a straightforward album cover guy. I do like this guy's face here that's peeking, I guess a mask or whatever. Very interesting album cover, if you ask me. I definitely like it. I'm definitely gonna have to give this album a listen to sometime in the future. So yeah, this was a bit of a shorter video, but I haven't done a tier list in a while, and it's one, and this is about the thing that I really like talking about. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe and turn the notification bell to never miss a new video. This is Astro Comics sign off. See ya.